So I know that narcissism is a very trendy topic right now, but I want to make sure that we don't judge anyone in this video, because the truth is that every single human on this planet has a splash of narcissism in them. Some people have a higher degree of narcissism to where they're completely emotionally disconnected from others. They don't think of others. They don't take into account other people's feelings. And then other people have a lower degree of narcissism. And if they're aware, they can become aware of when they're not showing up empathically or compassionately for someone else's needs. And the reason I say that we all have a little bit of narcissism is because most of our parents, and this isn't a knock at our parents, but most of our parents didn't know better. They were trying to survive. And so they didn't really have the capacity to be able to listen and nurture and be there for you. So that's been passed down to us. Whenever someone has trauma, okay, if they never want to feel that trauma, they can start to become narcissistic. So they have blind spots. They're not aware that someone else in the room is suffering, or that someone standing in front of them is going through a hardship, because they're only concerned about themselves. Does that make sense to you? So basically, when we have trauma and we refuse to feel it, then that can start to produce a lot of narcissism in ourselves, because now we're blind to other people's needs because we're so self-absorbed. So last night I was in bed and the universe showed me something so vividly to better describe or to better identify who in your life might be an extreme case of a narcissist. And again, this is not to throw shade. It's not to be judgmental. It's to become aware of this, because awareness is power. Truly, your awareness is your superpower. It is. The more aware you become, the higher you lift in your vibration. The more you raise your frequency, the more you move into these higher worlds. And I'll do another video about the higher world because I have another thought today. But basically, the more aware you become, the more light there is. The less aware we are, the more darkness there is, i.e. the blind spots. Not being plugged into inclusivity, compassion, sensitivity, and so on and so on. So then we become emotionally unintelligent. Someone who's emotionally intelligent can read the room. They will be able to detect if there's something going on with you, or if they've just ignored you. And I call it skipping over you. That's what came to me last night. No one should be skipped over. No one's feelings should be skipped over. So this is how you can identify if there is someone in your life who's an extreme case of a narcissist. So at that point, you're either going to have a very open conversation with them, which probably will not bend in your favor, because if someone is an extreme case of a narcissist, they're not open and available or receptive to receiving your feedback. They're eventually going to turn it around or make you feel bad, turn you into the villain, or they're going to storm out of the room because they refuse to change for the better. All of us have to change for the better. We have to become increasingly aware so that we become that light, so that we can become better humans. That's what it is. And don't fault yourself. Don't blame yourself if you have narcissistic tendencies. It's okay. You just have to become aware of it, because it's not your fault. Your parents just probably messed you up a lot, and they transferred into you, or they passed down to you things that you're unaware of. And as you become more aware, by being more connected, by taking into consideration how you make people feel or how people feel, then you will become a better human. All right, let me get to the point now. So the universe showed me this very vividly last night. Very vividly. This did not come from me. Basically, when someone, and this is so simple, but we never think of this. When someone talks to you about someone else, okay? When someone talks to you about someone else, you'll know that there are narcissists if they're always criticizing the person. Why do they criticize them? Because that person isn't meeting their expectations. That person isn't behaving the correct way. So that person is controlling, and they want that other person to meet them at that level, to meet their expectations. And if those expectations are never met, then they criticize them. So this is how you can know if someone's a narcissist. When they talk about their childhood friend or anyone they've known for a long time, they're always criticizing them, or they're jealous, and you can sense it. You can suss it out. There's a jealousy there because they're comparing their life to them. Okay, so again, it's all about them. The other way you can know, and this is what really hit me in between my eyes, was even if they speak positively about the other person, it will only be in relation or in connection to how that person makes them feel. So I love Melissa. I love Sandra. She always buys me flowers. She took care of dinner last night. She's always complimenting me. It's all about that person. Me, 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 me. Someone who isn't narcissistic, okay, will have information about the person. They will say, man, I've been getting to know Dan. I've been getting to know Michael. I've been getting to know Melissa. And their life is so interesting. I love the way that they see life. They've been telling me about their family and how they were raised and what their career is and how they see life doing that career. So when you're not narcissistic, you like to dig in there. You want to get to know somebody. When you are narcissistic, you don't even know how to get to know somebody because it's all about you. You're wrapped up in your own stories. And you need everyone to feed you all the time. You need everyone to give you energy all the time. So narcissistic people, they're energy grabbers. They want to take your energy. And if they're not able to take your energy, which is to say if they're not able to control you, then they start criticizing you. They start disparaging you. They start talking behind your back. So again, I'm going to repeat that one last time. Someone who's very high on the scale of narcissism, anytime they talk about people, like, you get no information about the person. It's all about how that person is serving them. Oh, I made a new friend. I love them. They're so cool. They always bring me champagne. My God, they like the same clothes that I like. But that's all narcissistic, right? It's still in the container of who they are. It's self-absorbed. It's self-consumed. Or they're criticizing them behind their back. It could be a friend they've known their whole life. It could be a family member they've known their whole life. But it's constant criticism. And that's because they're jealous. They're comparing their life to them. And they're projecting that pain or that unresolved trauma or that jealousy onto the other person. And then they find ways to justify it. Like, they're always justifying something, right? They're always making excuses. And then when you call them out, they're like, I don't want to talk about this right now or whatever. But my point is, it's all about them. So even if they're speaking positively about someone, it's only in connection to what that person can do for them. And again, someone who isn't narcissistic will investigate. They're like genuinely invested and interested in you. They're genuinely interested. And again, we all have some of this. So if this is you who doesn't dig in there, change your ways. Start becoming a better person today. Get to know people. At first, it's going to feel fake and phony because you're not used to wearing that garment. But with practice, you'll get better. You're going to start to have epiphanies about people. Oh my God, I can't believe I was so selfish. I can't believe I was so selfish. I was trying to get to the movie we're going to watch, and this person beside me, something was off with them and I wasn't able to sense it. My God, let me just stop. We're not going to watch the movie right now. I need to tend to this person's needs. So this is how we start to rehabilitate and resolve these old traumas. So yeah, narcissism is a hot topic right now, but I feel like people are using that word very loosely just to get views. So that's not my intention here, because I believe that we all have a tinge of that or a splash of that. And then it's a matter of becoming better people by becoming aware of how our parents in a way messed us up and then forgiving them, right? And then dedicating yourself to becoming a better person, because we all have work to do. We all have so much work to do. And we have so many blind spots. And that's why these epiphanies keep coming in for you. So I love you.